Imagine being 16 years old, on the cusp of stardom, yet trapped in a nightmare. As the world sang along to Over the Rainbow, Judy Garland was struggling to find her own rainbow, her own escape from the darkness that surrounded her. The sad part of the story is that the world didn't know what she was facing behind closed doors. But before we get into this horrific tale of greed and exploitation, let us go back to the very beginning. It all started on the 10th of June, 1922. On this day, a legend was born. Frances Ethelgum, later known to the world as Judy Garland, entered a life that would be marked by both brilliance and turmoil. Frances was the youngest of three children born to Frank and Ethel Gum, struggling vaudeville performers barely scraping by. But what a lot of people don't know is that when Ethel became pregnant with Frances, they considered terminating the pregnancy, already overwhelmed with two young children to feed. But fate had other plans. Despite initial reluctance, the Gums decided to keep Frances, unaware that this tiny bundle of joy would one day change their lives forever. As early as 5 years old, Frances's natural talent became obvious. She was a natural performer. She'd entertain her family with impromptu dance performances, lighting up their lives with her sparkle. At 11, Ethel pushed Frances onto the stage with her sisters, Mary Jane and Virginia, as the Gum Sisters. The trio's popularity grew, and soon enough, Frances grew tired of being called a baby, so she named herself Judy. Their mother's relentless push for stardom drove Judy and her sisters to perform tirelessly. After a while, dancing was no longer fun, and behind the curtains, a darker reality unfolded. It was said that in order to keep her daughters energized, Ethel allegedly began to feed them amphetamines. Sure, the pills worked, but the lasting effect it had on the children soon became obvious. They became more and more famous with each year that passed by. People loved the Gum Sisters, but it seemed like Judy had a way of standing out from the rest. There was something special about her, and soon enough, Hollywood came knocking. Judy and her sister's hard work finally paid off when they caught the attention of Louis B. Mayer, the legendary co-founder of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. Their dreams were finally coming true, or so they thought. Soon enough, they realized that he was only interested in one of them, Judy Garland. He was ready to make a star out of Judy Garland, but it came at a cost, a price little Judy could not pay. In order to confirm all he had heard about Judy, Mayer dispatched composer Burton Lane to witness the Gum Sisters' vaudeville act. And that was when Judy's fate was sealed. Judy's audition at MGM was a mere formality. 2 songs were all it took for executives to recognize her star power. A contract was offered, and a legend was born. Her early days in Hollywood soon proved that all that glitters is not gold. It was said that it wasn't long before studio executives, including Mayer, began preying on Judy's insecurities, taunting her about her weight and appearance. The fragile teenager was torn apart by self-doubt. Even her breakthrough role in Babies in Arms, where she starred alongside Mickey Rooney, could not take her mind off the chaos that surrounded her. Judy would later claim that during these frenetic shoots, she and Rooney were fed amphetamines and barbiturates to keep pace. But this was only the beginning of the pressure of fame. The girl who once danced for joy was now trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and addiction. Was the magic of Hollywood enough to save her, or was it ultimately her undoing? The Wizard of Oz catapulted Judy Garland to stardom, but little did the world know, her brightest moment would also mark the beginning of a tragic descent. Judy's reliance on amphetamines and barbiturates, initially fueled by the studio, consumed her life. Her weight fluctuated wildly, and her mental health began to unravel. In a later interview, Judy's daughter revealed the truth about her mother's struggles in Hollywood. In her words, "I do think my mother was a victim of the studio system, but it also gave her the ability to channel her talent to all of us. It was a real double-edged sword." It seemed like Judy Garland tried to find happiness in other ways, but all to no avail. Multiple marriages followed, 5 in total, each a fleeting attempt to find happiness. Vincente Minnelli, Sidney Luft, and Mickey Dean's, but in every marriage, Judy's demons proved too powerful. Judy's career stalled and her finances crumbled. She filed for bankruptcy twice and struggled to pay her taxes. Despite occasional comebacks, including a critically acclaimed performance in A Star is Born, Judy's star continued to dwindle. In the 1960s, Judy's addiction worsened. She overdosed multiple times, and her family watched in horror as she teetered on the edge. On June 22, 1969, the unthinkable happened. Judy Garland, 47 years old, was found unresponsive in her London home. It was revealed that she died of an accidental overdose. As news spread, the world mourned the loss of a brilliant talent, a vulnerable soul who never truly found happiness. As we reflect on the life of Judy Garland, these words from her daughter, Lorna Luft, constantly remind us of Garland's legacy. In her words, "I always want people to look at my mother's work. I want them to go and see her films, listen to other recordings, and watch her shows, because then you really get to know her." I think that's really important. Judy Garland was truly a beautiful soul in a dark world, and she will forever be remembered for her contribution to Hollywood. As we draw the curtains on Judy Garland's tumultuous yet remarkable journey, we would like to hear from you. In what way did Judy Garland's life touch you? Let us know in the comments section below, and also let us know who you would like us to discuss in our next deep dive.